शांति मंत्र। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We were studying the Katha Upanishad, Death with a Difference, because in reality there is no death for the soul. We were together trying to understand what is told in the Katha Upanishad in the form of a discourse or a dialogue between Nachiketa and the Lord of Death, Yama. Today we will start the third canto of the second part of this Upanishad. The scriptures are given to us by rishis, seers of mantra. Mananat trayate iti mantraha, that repeating which one gets free from this cycle of transmigration, of repeated births and deaths. Trayate makes you free. Mananat, by contemplation, meditation upon. That is called mantra. And we know from tradition that all the Upanishads or the Vedas are all mantras. Also, they are all Mahavakyas. Jiva Brahma Aikya Pratipadaka Vakyam Mahavakyam. Any statement or a sentence which shows the identity between the Jivatman, the soul, individual soul, and the Brahman is called a Mahavakya. Though the entire Vedas are Mahavakyas, there are 4 representative sentences from each Veda, and they are commonly known as the Mahavakyas. Though these sentences are known as Mahavakyas, it does not mean that they are the only Mahavakyas. There are many Mahavakyas. In fact, tradition has it that the entire Vedas are nothing but Mahavakyas. What are these 4 sentences? Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma, and Tattvamasi. When we talk about the great sentence or Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, then a very important part of the tradition is brought forth in the sense that Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Or in old English, thou art that. So here, Tat, that is the Jivatman, Tat, that is the Brahman, and Tvam, that is the Jivatman, are apparently considered to be quite opposite to one another. Brahman or Ishvara or Lord is omnipresent, omniscient, etc., full of consciousness, whereas Brahman is that, and whereas individual soul is apparently bound by the body, mind, etc. And there is this difference. And how is that both are same? That is the question which comes to the mind. So that is why the tradition says that you have to contemplate on this great sentence Mahavakya. You have to understand the nature of Tvam, your own nature, you have to understand the nature of Tat, that is the first principle or Brahman, the substratum, and then eventually you will understand that both are not separate things but the same thing. And because of ignorance, you see them as separate. So this is called Tat Padartha Shodhanam. Shodhanam is a Sanskrit word for research, Shodhana, or here analysis or contemplation. Tat is actually representing Brahman here. So Tat Pada Artha means Pada Artha, Pada means word, Artha means meaning. Tat, so Shodhana, Tat Padartha Shodhana means you are analyzing or contemplating on the meaning of the word Tat. Similarly, Tvam Pada Artha Shodhana means you are analyzing or contemplating on the meaning of the word Tvam. When you do this, then finally you come to understand Jiva Brahma Aikya, or the unity, oneness of Jiva and Brahman. So this is what has been told in the scriptures, and that is why in Brahma Sutra, in the beginning, it is told that what is the aim, as before reading any scripture or any text, we should follow this methodology, even in a secular text, to understand four anubandhas, four features of any text. It is called Anubandha Chatushtaya, the quartet of Anubandha. What are they? It is Vishaya, the subject matter, Adhikari, one who is qualified to study that subject matter, then Prayojana, and what is the utility to study this subject matter, and Sambandha, the relation between this utility and the subject matter. Suppose the subject matter is about cooking and suddenly you talk about weather. So there is no relation between cooking and weather, or apparently it would seem so. So in our scriptures there is a very scientific methodology followed, and also there are other things called Shat Linga. There are 6 indications to be followed in studying any text. So they start like Upakrama, Upasamhara, etc. Upasamhara is the ending, Upakrama is the beginning. So when we read a work of fiction, sometimes we see there is a prologue and an epilogue. So the beginning of a text starts with one intention, and it should end with the same intention or the same subject matter in view. It cannot be that the book starts speaking about physics and ends speaking about chemistry. So there should be parity of thought from the beginning to the end. These are different techniques used by our ancient seers, and contrary to the ordinary understanding, they were not fools. They were great intelligent people who had a very scientific and technical methodology to understand things. Now, how did this, as we have seen earlier also, how was this system of মাউস দিন, ওটা না, ওটা মাউস দিন, মাঝে মধ্যে এরকম করতে থাক, ওখানে আছে, ভিতরে আছে। So how was the system of transmission of the knowledge of Vedas? What was the system of transmission of the knowledge of Vedas? The reason why Vedas are called Shruti is because they were transmitted by oral tradition, Shravana, and that is why it is called Shruti. By hearing it was transmitted. So now it is simply stupendous to imagine that the whole Vedas were transmitted by tradition, by just oral tradition. So people used to hear that and they used to, how was this done? Since childhood people were taught Vedas and they used to memorize it, And that is why we see that we have different castes by name. Vedi means that person was given the responsibility of memorizing and transmitting one Veda. Dvivedi, the person was given the responsibility of memorizing and transmitting two Vedas. Trivedi, the person was given the responsibility of memorizing and transmitting three Vedas. Similarly, Chaturvedi. So we have all these things, and then we also see something called Shakha or branches. When automatically, when a person, as we see in daily experience, if you tell a person that a person is going to marry somebody, the same news goes around and comes to you that the marriage is also over and two children are there. So this aberration goes in the oral tradition. So aberration is something which we cannot help. So similarly, we see that in the tradition of transmission of Vedas by oral method, we see that there are something what is called Patha Antara or Patha Veda. The same text in a different region of the country is having a particular difference. Not many differences. Even with computers and so many things, we find that there are so many spelling mistakes even in very popular newspapers and other publications. But in those days when nothing was there, hardly you see any difference. Very few differences, and these differences are called Patantara, and these different shakhas were there. So Kanva Shakha is a person who Kanva Muni or somebody would have been there. That person transmitted and it came. Now suddenly you may think why these things are being told which have been already told. That is exactly the point. In Katha Upanishad, we have seen 3 times the Upanishad says that these things have been already told, but still it is being told again, because we are all dumb people, we are all ignorant people, and it is impossible for us to remember everything, so you are being reminded. So the tradition is Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Why is it that everybody calls you by your name? If somebody does not call you by your name, what will happen? You will forget your own name. Now you may imagine that, oh, that is simply impossible. No, it is quite possible. Just because everybody calls you by a particular word, and only because that word is used constantly, you are able to remember that word. Just imagine that you are given different numbers at different levels at different purposes. Then you will not know how to call yourself. Suppose when you go to a particular course, they are giving some number, roll number there. In house, they are giving some other roll number. Like then you will need to have a software called number manager, like you have password manager. So that will be very difficult. Now, modern neurology says that whatever you learn by rote or by memorizing is stored in a place which is very close to the place where your basic instincts are stored. What are the basic instincts? The instinct which makes you fight for your survival, the instinct which makes you sleep, which makes you run, etc. So this is stored in a place of the brain which is much lower in the evolution scale, much lower. So whatever you learn by rote or memorize, these are called skills. Whatever you learn like that, they go and store themselves in that particular area of your brain. And even if you become an amnesia patient, even if you completely forget everything, you will remember those things. What are they? Language skills. Skills like martial arts, fighting, karate. Skills like driving a car, riding a cycle, etc. All these skills are stored in a place in your brain which will never be unlearned as far as you are alive. So it is understood by experience and also by past history that people who are given to doing some kind of repetition of some mantra, this mantra is also stored in a place where it is never unlearned. In fact, I have seen people, more than 1, 2, 3 people I have seen who were on ventilator, but they were continuously doing japa. So why they are able to do japa? Because it is stored in a place which is taking care of heartbeat, etc. The same place in the brain, this is stored. So the whole idea about this is that certain things we have to memorize. Unless you memorize certain things, it is not going to help. In fact, interestingly, mathematical skills like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 are also stored in that same region. So that is why we may curse our parents or teachers, whatever the case may be, who ask us to memorize the tables, but actually they are helping us because these skills are very much useful in the day-to-day life. So what we need to do is, you need to have a system of memorizing mantras or shlokas every day. It could be any text. Better, because we are studying Katha Upanishad, better if it is Katha Upanishad, memorize. How to memorize? You should be experts in memorizing, but still I will give you a quick revision. If you memorize every day for half an hour, it is of no good. Then what you should do? Morning 5 minutes and evening 5 minutes daily. You don't need to memorize half an hour. That doesn't work. It will not help you actually. And what is the best time to memorize? Before going to sleep and just after coming out of sleep. That is the best time to memorize. Why? Because somehow, this is again modern neurology, somehow brain is an interesting organ. So somehow this brain keeps on thinking what you were thinking before going to sleep. And similarly, it keeps on thinking what you are thinking just after coming out of sleep. So similarly, if you see in the morning, if you were hearing to some film song or something, that will invariably run in your brain all through the day. So that is the reason why, neurology or no neurology, our ancestors, they said that you should get up early in the morning and do your prayers, etc. Because this is the reason. So morning when you get up, just have a card or something where you write down this mantra and just repeat that mantra for 5 minutes. Then when you are going to sleep, you repeat the mantra for 5 minutes, and for some people it may also act as a tranquilizer. So it has got double purpose. So you can do that. Now we will go to the third canto of the second part of Katha Upanishad. Because most of you might have, or it seems you have forgotten the whole thing. So what is Katha Upanishad? Katha Upanishad is actually the story or an anecdote which leads to a dialogue between the Lord of Death and a person called Nachiketa. Nachiketa saw that his father was performing a sacrifice which required the best things to be given in donation or gift, but he was giving the worst things. So he got overwhelmed by Shraddha, or he was having conscience troubles, and then he went and asked his father that who will you give me to, because I am your best product. That is the implication. And father was fed up with this persistent questioning, so he said, I will give you to death, I give you to death. And then he immediately went to death, and there he stayed without food or any hospitality for 3 days. So God of death, Lord of death, was afraid of this person lest he should bring any harm to his kursi, kissa kursi ka. So he said that, okay, for every day I will give you one boon. And what was the boon? What were the boons? First boon he said is, when I go, my father should not say Bhago Bhutaya, he should accept me as his son. Then second boon is, please teach me a sacrifice which will lead me to the otherworldly goodness. It is not about immortality or anything, which will give me, which will pay way to best thing in this world and the other world, that is heaven, etc. Then third boon was what happens after death. Now first two boons were given and Nachiketa was very happy. Earlier he did not give the boons, he was going on, telling him, and then when he gave the boons, first two boons he gave, and then Nachiketa was very happy. He said, this sacrifice will be named after you, Nachiketa. So 3 plus 1 free. Then what happened? Then he kept on saying that don't take this, don't take that, I will give you 1,000 chariots, I will give you 1,000 apsaras, etc. But don't ask me after what happens after. But But Katha Upanishad shows that Nachiketa was persistent, and then he was told what happens after death. Now there is no great secret. Many people while reading this Upanishad feel, oh, now we will know and afterwards we will not care about anybody else. These things are all known, but we have to practice. We have to practice. So practice is the essence. So you have to practice. And how do we practice? It is like learning a foreign language sitting here. If you learn a foreign language, what is the problem? There is no problem, you can learn it, but only problem is you will have nobody to practice it with. So Bengali you learn, you have people. Hindi, even South Indian languages you will have people. But suppose you are going to learn say Swedish or something like that, you will have no one here. Or Finnish, very difficult. So how to practice? No way to practice. So the same is the predicament with spiritual practices in this world, because the entire world is running after materiality. The entire world is running after materialism. The whole world will pull you away from your spiritual nature. So how do you practice? You have to practice yourself. That is why in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Atmaiva Bandhuratmanah, Atmaiva Ripuratmanah. Atma is the friend of Atma, and Atma is the foe or enemy of Atma. Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. So it is by you, Atma only will take up the Atma. Nobody can help you. So knowledge is there inside you. People can only prod or give some prerana, some kindling of knowledge. That's all. Nobody can actually give you knowledge, because it is not coming from outside to inside, but from inside to inside. So you have to help yourself. You are your own enemy, you are your own friend. So this constant practice has to be done. Now we see what this Upanishad has to tell in this particular shloka. Now how do you know that Brahman is there? Is it possible for us to know that Brahman is there? Yes, it is very much possible for us to know Brahman is there. And what is that? It is by seeing the fruit you know the tree. So by seeing mango you know that there is a tree which produces mango. By seeing a mobile where it is written Nokia, you know that there should be some company which is producing this Nokia. By seeing the effect you can presume the cause. By seeing the effect you can guess the cause. That is what we do in daily life. We assume that the cause is existing. So you see that a good food is lying in front of you, somebody has put it, so you immediately presume, you assume that somebody had cooked the food and it is served here, because it cannot happen just like that. So this is what we do. Similarly, this world we see, and we see that though the world is not real, though the world is impermanent, though the world is transitory, but the world exists all the same. Anything in this world is all destructible, ephemeral, impermanent, but this world is there. So by seeing this world, we can presume the existence of the cause of this world, and that is Brahman. Without Brahman, this world could not have existed. Because there is Brahman, and plus Brahman there is ignorance, this world is there. Remove ignorance, the world also or the universe will go away, only Brahman will remain. So that we have to understand, and that is what being told here by an imagery which is also used in the first shloka of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is the imagery? We will see. It is, I will chant the shloka, you also chant, and now onwards we will chant it 3 times. Urdhva Mulo Vakshakha Esho Ashvatha Sanatanah Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma Tadevamritam Uchyate Tasmin Lokaha Shritaha Sarve Tadunatyeti Kaschana Etad Vaitad ऊर्ध्वमूलो वाक्शाख एषो अश्वत्थः सनातनः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्म तदेवामृतम् उच्यते तस्मिन् लोकाः श्रिताः सर्वे तदुनात्येति कश्चन एतद्वैतत् ऊर्ध्वमूलो वाक्शाख एषो अश्वत्थः सनातनः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्म तदेवामृतम् उच्यते तस्मिन् लोका श्रिताः सर्वे तदुनात्येति कश्चन एतद्वैतत्. It's a very beautiful imagery. What is the imagery? Urdhva moola. Urdhva means in the top. Urdhva means top. Esha ashvattha. Ashvattha. What is ashvattha? It is the people tree. Ashvattha tree. People tree. Esha ashvattha. There is a pun in this word ashvattha. There are two meanings. Shva means tomorrow. Shva means tomorrow. Ashva, that which does not exist tomorrow. Shva means tomorrow, that which does not exist even tomorrow. Means transitory, impermanent. So this world is like people tree. Why people tree? Because if there is a tsunami, people tree will go away. If there is a storm, Katrina, only the Katrina part, the storm comes and the world will go away, this people tree also will go away. And if there is a change in the season, all the leaves fall down, etc., etc. There are so many reasons. So it gives a symbolism of the transitoriness or the impermanence of this universe. So Ashvattha, that which is tha is used for it stays or it remains, means that which is in a state which will not remain even tomorrow. It is not remain. If you purchase sweets, there are some sweets which you cannot keep more than 24 hours. All the best sweets are like that. So if you want to purchase some Kolkata sweet and take it to a place to show off that this is the sweet, you cannot do. So you can give only ordinary sweet like some sandesh, which anyway, oh, this we know, this. So why? Because all the great illusions remain only for a few hours. You cannot have illusions for a longer time. So that is why it is an illusion. So this is what? Ashvattha. Ashvattha. It is not. Shvattha means, just Shvattha means it will remain till tomorrow. Ashvattha means it will not remain even till tomorrow. That is the idea. So Ashvattha like people tree. Urdhva Mula. So that is the Esha Ashvattha. This world or the universe is like a people tree which will not remain till tomorrow. Urdhva Mula Avakshaka hai. And Urdhva Mula, Mula of a tree or the cause or the root, Mula means root of a tree, is usually in the ground. It takes water, etc. You know all the science part. So it is in the ground. But here this tree is ulta pulta. It is the Urdhva, Mula, roots are on the top. Why so? Because the Upanishad wants to tell you that Brahman is at the root of this universe and Brahman is higher than the universe. When you make a chart of any hierarchy of any particular organization, what you do? You say CEO on the top. You don't put CEO on the bottom. You put CEO on the top and then you say there is some CFO or COO or vice presidents, etc., etc., all these things you do. So similarly here, Brahman has been put on the top, and because Brahman is on the top, what is Brahman? It is the root cause of this universe. Brahman is both the immediate cause and the material cause. It is both the instrumental cause and the material cause of the universe. So it is put on the top. So people tree has been turned upside down. Urdhva Moola. Avak Shakha. So the branches are all going downwards. Why downwards? It is a symbology to make you understand that all these branches, which we will see what are the branches, all the diversion in terms of different people, Professor Somnath, Neeraj, etc., all these people are sitting here, all these people are different varieties of the same reality. So we are seeing these varieties. Why? We are being drawn away from the root cause. We are being drawn away from the root, which is Brahman. So Urdhva Moola Avak Shakha Sanatana. But this is happening, nobody can say from when this universe is there. So there are so many physicists are there, one person is sitting here also, but nobody will be able to tell me that on this particular date at this particular time this was started. Forget about what mythology says, but scientifically nobody will be able to tell us that this began at this particular time. It has got no beginning. Ignorance, ajnana, has no beginning, but it has got end. There is no, it is anadi. But santa means it has got end. Sa plus anta. It is anadi, it is beginningless. So we don't know when it started. So from when this ignorance started giving rise to all these branches from the root of Brahman, we don't know. So sanatanaha tat eva shukram. So we have seen this Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma earlier also in many mantras. Tat Eva Shukram means that Brahman which is the root is pure. Tadeva Brahma, Tad Brahma, and that is Brahman. Tadeva Amritam Uchyate, and that is known as immortal. So the Upanishad says that see, all things are okay at the root. Brahman is okay, but from the root itself, Godaya Gondugol, from the root itself the problem has started. What has happened? Because of ignorance, the variety has been seen. The same question which Chandala asked, Koyam Vibheda Brahmaha, that in this indivisible ocean of consciousness, from where do you get this delusion of differentiation? Vibheda Brahmaha, delusion of differentiation. Where do you get this delusion of differentiation, delusion of distinction, that I am Chandala, I am Vipraha, that this person is a Chandala and this person is a Brahmana? Where do you get this? Everybody is consciousness. Where do you get this delusion or distinction? That is the question. So here also the same thing is told by the Upanishad. Then it is telling Tasmin, in that root, that Brahman, Sarve Lokaha Shritaha, all the lokas. We saw that there are many lokas. 7 lokas are below, 7 are above. So all the lokas Shritaha. Shrita means stay. Ashritaha means taking shelter. A plus Shritaha. Shrita, Ashrita. Ashraya is shelter. Ashrita means sheltered, and Shritaha, just Shrita means staying, resides. Kaschana tat una atyeti. Kaschana means anybody or nobody or nothing. Tat una atyeti. Atyeti means transcend, surpass. So nobody can go beyond the roots. Nobody can go beyond the roots. So that is why people, even though they have gone to America, United States of America, the US of A, and they are staying there for 3 generations maybe, but even there they need masala dosa, because you cannot go beyond roots. Roots will come anyway. That's why it's called American born confused desi. So this sarve lokaha shritaha kaschana tat u na atyeti. Nothing can surpass it. Nothing can surpass it. That means Brahman is the ultimate reality. Ultimate is that after which there is nothing else. Ultimate reality. Etat vaitat. So this truly is that. This also we have seen as an ending, as a call of fun in all the many earlier mantras. Etat vaitat means what? Etat, why indeed, etat this, tat is that. Why indeed? Nachiketa asked, what is that which remains after death? Asti iti cha aike, nayam asti iti cha aike. Some people say that it remains, some people say that it does not remain. What is that? And that thing is this Brahman, which is the root of this universe, which can be compared to a peepal tree. So in the Upanishads, it is told like that. And in the 15th chapter of the Gita, it is told, Urdhva Moolam Adhashakham. Urdhva Moolam Adhashakham. Urdhva Moolam means root is in the top. Adhashakham. Adha means bottom. Shakham means branches. Urdhva Moolam Adhashakham Ashwattham Prahur Avyayam. So, Ashwattham, again the same meaning. Ashwatha, it can be the peepal tree. Also Ashwatha means that which will not stay till tomorrow. Ashwattham Prahur Avyayam. And people say that it is Avyayam, indivisible. Chandansi yasya parnani. And the leaves are what? Chandansi. Vedas are the leaves of this tree. Yastam Veda sa Vedavit. And the person who knows that knows everything. Like that. It goes on. So here we will see the tree. Now this is the tree and it is upside down. So in the above is Brahman. This is Brahman. Okay, and all these branches are there, root is there, etc. So up to here there was no problem. Because of ignorance, whole thing has happened. So this is the imagery. So what are the roots? What are the branches? You see, the root is Brahman. Root is Brahman. The root of this tree is Brahman, or the ultimate reality. And how is that from Brahman this has come? It has come because of ignorance. Ajnana. Ajnana or moha, call it whatever you may. It has come because of ignorance. So what is the seed of this tree? Ignorance. The seed of this tree is ignorance. What is the trunk? There are various subtle bodies. Those are the trunk of this tree. Various subtle bodies are the trunk of this tree. And how does this tree grow? Desire. It is because of desire it goes. So earlier also we saw that Kaman, that we saw in the Katha Upanishad mantra, which most of you have conveniently forgotten. So Kaman means this Brahman itself, this Atman itself, because of ignorance goes on increasing desires. So because of the water of desire, what happens when you plant a seed? What happens when you plant sow a seed? The sprout comes. How does that sprout live? Or even the seed, you sprinkle some water. There is a procedure how to sprinkle water, how to give water, etc. So some people, they will grow a plant and in 2 days it will die. Other people, they will do it will come. So all these things, they say that not everyone can grow a plant and all that. But anyway, there is a procedure for that. So you sprinkle the water of desires. Without desire, if you did not have any desire. So the Upanishad is giving us the solution to the problem of ignorance. What is the solution? Don't have desire. Simple. Don't have any desire. That's all. Finish. So you have no problem, no bondage. So the desire is the cause of bondage. If you eat Rasgulla, you will have to get diabetes. So diabetes and Rasgulla are directly correlated. So if you don't want diabetes, don't eat Rasgulla. It's very simple. So if you want peace of mind, when Sri Ramakrishna was first seen by Mahendranath Gupta, what did he say? That he said, are you married? Oh, he is married. So you see, the Holy Mother says that if you are not married, half of the problem, I think 80% of the problem is solved. Anyway, doesn't mean that you should not marry, but most of the problems are solved. If marriage is not there, both for the man and the woman and for the general society, problems are solved. So, like that. So, if you marry, then problem will be there.
What did mother say?
See, mother has told many things in different contexts. this context, she said that if you don't marry, half the problem is solved. But of course, another person went and asked, so she said that see, every animal is there are there in pairs, so you also should marry. So what she said, or any great prophet said, always depends on the person who was asking the question. But I am putting it out of the context in a different way, and it is that the idea is, if there is no desire, there will be no problem. So because of desire, ignorance, desire comes, and because of desire, this goes on. See, and this growth, it's very, though it is symbolical, but in daily life also we see that you have one dress, and desire, it becomes two dresses, and again desire, three dresses, and then a whole wardrobe, etc. So desire always leads to growth. Then what are the sprouts? So you put water from the seed, some sprout will come, and some type of sprouts are good for the health. You put, and that sprouted grams and all you eat, and it is good for your health. So what is this sprout? Sense object, not sensus object. Sense objects are the sprouts. They are the sprouts. So all these sense objects, you see what Upanishad is telling you. Earlier also in the same Upanishad that has been told, these sense objects come into existence because you want them. It is not other way around. We think that because the sense object is there, I want. I think that because there is pizza, I want it. It's not that. The scripture says that the pizza has come in the first place because you wanted it. It is the other way around. So sense objects come because of desire. So then, what are the leaves of the tree? Vedas, etc. So etc. is very important. Fine print. Always read the fine print. Nobody reads. So there everything is written. In Facebook it is written, all your photos can be used publicly. Nobody knows that. So you see, and now and then they keep on sending you mails saying that these licenses agreement has also changed, some changes, and there are so much of text that people don't read. So in Facebook, if you post a photo, it can be used by anyone and there is no copyright. So like that, there is always fine print in every place. So here also etc. means what? Veda and Vedanga. So there is Jyotish, Vyakarana, Chanda, etc. 6 Vedangas are there, so which are necessary, and also Vedas, and then other things also, other Smritis also. All these are what? They are the leaves of this tree. Then what are the flowers? Good works are the flowers. Sacrifices, charity, so etc. Again here also etc. So all kinds of good work. You do charity, you help somebody, you do sacrifice. Sacrifice means Vedic sacrifice. Then what are the tastes? So if flower is there, then there will be fruit, and if fruit is there, there will be taste. So what are the tastes? Happiness and sorrow is the taste. If you come to this world, you will have to be either happy or you will have to be sorrow. But they are actually the obverse and reverse of the same coin. They are the two sides of the same coin. So being sorrow means what? Being happy. Being happy means what? Being sad. Because if you are sad now, then happiness will follow, and if you are happy, sorrow will follow. That doesn't make any sense, because both of these are in the realm of ignorance. What does that mean? That we are stupid people. That's what it means. So plain stupidity is what it means. So that is why the Upanishad says that the taste of this tree, like mango tree has got one taste, different varieties of mango have got different varieties of taste. So this has got the taste of happiness and sorrow. And fruits is what? What are the fruits? Means of subsistence. The fruit of this tree which comes out of ignorance is to keep the ignorance alive. What does it mean to say means of subsistence? Subsistence means to keep your individuality, as Swami Vivekananda says in his writings. Individualities. How? So you have now created an illusion that you are a scientist or a researcher or an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or a liar, whatever. So you create an illusion and you want to foster and preserve and nurture this illusion. That is the fruit. You constantly go on, nurturing this illusion. And that is why it is very difficult to be spiritual in this world. Why? Because we are constantly putting all our energies in preserving our individuality, which is both biologically, neurologically and spiritually non-existent. There is nothing called individuality. You as a person separate is not existing in biology also. You cannot live even 1 second without exchanging information with the external world. You will die. Information or any kind of material with the external life. Biology tells us this plain fact that I cannot live separately. So the whole thing that I am an individual person is a myth. There is nothing called as the individual person. There are so many books on this. Recent is the self-illusion. There is a book called the self-illusion by one Bruce, I think. I forgot the surname. So now we need to understand that, and that is why the moment you are putting this water, sprinkling this water of desire on this seed of ignorance, you are getting into a big vicious cycle, like chicken and egg story. Then if you get caught into this, then when you will say the survival of the fittest means what? You will try to only reiterate or reinvigorate or re-establish ignorance. You will constantly make it more stronger and stronger and it will become very intense. So you study. What happens in our life? We study. Now when we are young, when we are children or babies, we are completely oblivious to all these anxieties of this world. But as soon as we get some kind of knowledge, when we want one mobile, we want one iPod, we want one iPad, etc., and then we study and then we start getting tension and then we want to study this, we want to go into this. You see, what we do is systematically we are corrupting our innocence. We are trying to acquire things and we are trying to complicate our lives. In fact, we end up complicating our lives so much that after 40 we all are in some kind of anxiety disorder. Some are pronounced. So there is one of the Bibles of psychology. It's called Psychology of Insanity. Very old book by Bernard Hart. He says all of us are insane. All of us are insane. The point is the insanity should be in a bearable level. So people, you would have seen people, they make doodles. You know what are doodles? You sit down and you have nothing to do and you simply start scribbling or making some faces, etc. They are called doodles. So you make that. That is also a part of, it is not normal behavior. So it's also insane behavior. Then somebody is walking along a garden, then they touch the flowers and walk like that. Or there is a railing, they'll simply touch the railing and walk like that. It is also an insane behavior. It's not normal behavior. So many people, you give them a ballpoint pen or something, they will do click, 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 click. They keep on doing that. So that is also, some people, they talk on phone and they will go on, with that wire, they will do what God only knows. So this also is an insane behavior. So, but these insane behaviors can be tolerated, no problem. So that is what, we are all insane. And when the insanity becomes unbearable by others, they put us in a mental asylum or mental reformatory or all those fancy names they have got now. But anyway, all said and done, it is the same thing. So this fruits means of subsistence. Subsistence of what? Of the ignorance. Subsistence of the ignorance. That is the fruit. And nest, what is the nest? 7 worlds. Why nest? Just like a bird builds a nest in a tree, we are building our nest. We are going to stay there permanently, or at least we think we will stay there permanently in this world of ignorance. But actually we do. Till you have desires, till you have this sense of enjoyership and doership, kartrutva bodha, doership, And bhoktritva bodha, enjoyership, this sense you have, you will have to stay in this world. You will have to stay. So you do a lot of good work and you go to Indra Loka. For 1 lakh years you are the Indra. So you give different circulars you pass daily and so many things happen, and then you see all this kind of cultural activities, so much are there in Indra Loka. Then you come down. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. After all this bank account is gone, then suddenly you come and you put your visa card, no balance. So you come down. When you come down, again you will have to. So these 7 worlds, in these 7 worlds you are doing. You are Marana and Janana. You are journeying in the 7 worlds, but you are in ignorance. You are in the tree only. Those nests are those 7 worlds. You are in this tree only. If you have to go away from this tree to the truth, Brahman, then you will have to give up your desire. Then what are sounds? The commentary by Shankaracharya is very graphic in this mantra. What are sounds? So sounds are different type of sounds. What sounds? He says, so there is different sounds. For example, if you are staying in a place, how do you know that in the top floor or the floor above you there is party going on? No need of any invitation. After when the party starts, you will know. There will be dum 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 something, or there will be something like Sheila Ki Jawan. Something will be going on. Then immediately you will understand that something is going on. Party is going on. So suddenly the other day, one Swami was asking, "Abhi kya ho gaya?" Abhi loudspeaker chal raha, to Vishwakarma Puja. And there will be no connection whatsoever with the song and the puja. So that loudspeaker blaring, and we suddenly know that there is some function, some religious festival is going on. So this is what. So how will you know? Some singing will be going on. Somebody will suddenly start singing. And now how do I know that Professor Mandal has entered? Because there was this door opening sound. So I know that this sound is, that's how you know. So somebody will be singing. And then how somebody will be dancing. So there will be some, for dancing they need some kind of, background music. So there will be some dancing music will be there. Anybody can dance. So this also will be there. So, and then how do you know? This dancing will be there, then singing will be there. And some people when they sing, you have to close your ears. How many of you know the Bhuteshanji's Bhattacharya Moshai singing? Huh? There is one story Bhuteshanji Maharaj used to tell about a singer. So there was, I actually also don't remember the details, that is the problem. Anyway, what I will try. So there was this one person who was very good at singing, like bathroom singing. If he used to sing, then other people used to come and request him forcibly to stop. So anyway, so he was there. And so what happened was, he was singing and because of his wonderful talent, nobody was even listening and he was having no money. He became poor. So what to do? Like this it was going on. So he was staying in the, just sitting in the forest and thinking. And there he saw that there was a ghost. And that ghost said that, see, I have an idea. What is the idea? So there in that he said that, you see, you want money and I also can help you make money. So I will go and catch hold of the daughter of the king. So you come there and you sing and I will leave. And then you do some cure and I will leave. Not singing, some cure and I will leave. So then you will get lot of money. Then like that we will have a joint venture. So he went and he did like that. Then he got. So he actually requested the ghost to do that. So then he got okay. Then again he wanted more money. So he got lot of money. Now the money he was only spending. There is no earning. So he again went to the ghost and said, please once more. Once more. So again after some 10-15 years he felt need for money. So he said, now. So the ghost said, no, nothing doing. Then afterwards he said, okay. Afterwards, what happened? The ghost, you see, ghosts, they need to always catch hold of people, no? That is their profession, job. So they went and, the ghost went and caught hold of some person. Some daughter of some Raja or some Jamindar, like that. And this person has now got a reputation of ostracizing ghosts. Like this person will come and exorcising ghosts. So now this person, everybody came, no, Bhattija Mosha, you have to come and you have to throw out this ghost. I said, okay, fine. He went there and he said, okay, I will do. But now what happened? The ghost will not go, because the ghost said that our joint venture is over and you cannot interfere with my work, roti, kapda and makan. So the ghost will not go. And then finally he said, okay, I will take care of that. So what he did, he did not go. He said that, okay, then you go, either you go or I will start singing. I will start singing. So the ghost said, okay, don't bother me, I will leave. And the ghost left. So like that some people sing also. So the singing also is one way of, this is, you see, it can be both merriment and grief. For the person who is singing, maybe merriment, and for the person who is listening, grief. So singing. And then there is so much of play is there. Children, cackling sound, they are all singing and they are playing, etc. So evening, you know that it is now evening. In flat apartments and all, now I don't know how many people, everybody is in Xbox and games. But anyway, some people will, when Holi comes, we know there's a lot of noise around, then Holi is there. So sound is there. And this is all for happiness. What is the sound of grief? So you go to a hospital, you understand the sound of grief. You cannot sleep in the night. Everyone will say, maha, somebody will say like, it's very pathetic. And suppose you go and show a pistol, it can be a duplicate one also, but who has seen the original or duplicate? Nobody knows. So you just show a pistol and they say, "Arey bachao, mujhe kuch mat karo, mujhe chhod do, ye lo mera batua, sab kuch, please leave me," etc. All these things have been told, not the pistol part, but please leave me part has been told by Shankaracharya. So these people can get poetic at times. Anyway, so all these kind of sounds we see, and if you are really foolish and happen to enter into this kind of auditorium, then the sound of lecture also you can hear. So all these kind of sounds you see, and this also is part of. Now you can ask, what is the sound in a tree? We are talking about the urdhva moolam madhashakam, etc., or urdhva moola ashwatha. What is the sound in a tree? Rustling of leaves. So many poets use this, no? And the branches are this thing, etc. So these are the sounds. And sometimes birds come and they have beautiful sounds. And how do you cut this tree? So deforestation has to be there. When forestation is there, deforestation will be there. How do you cut this tree? By a weapon of detachment or discernment. Nitya anitya vastu viveka vairagya. Viveka. So what is the contemplation? Nitya. This is going to remain. This is not going to remain. Nitya anitya vastu viveka. So this discernment. If you do, you will be able to cut the tree and only Brahman will remain. So if you cut the tree, what will happen? You will suddenly stop sprinkling water desires. And if you do that, then there will be no need for the whole tree and the branches and everything. So this is what is being told by this mantra. And this is Shukram, pure, etc. This is the idea.
Mass-wise is 7 words or 14 words?
7. Here it is told as 7 words, but you can take it as 14 words also. The idea is the various worlds are the ness.
Only the Urdhva only they have specified.
No. Urdhva does not mean, Urdhva is only for the moola, root.
7 up and
7, no, it is not like that. No. They have, that's what, they have just told about the 7, 7 up they have told, but the commentary by Shankaracharya says that these 7 worlds are built by people who are living in the 7 worlds which are down. That is the word language. So these 7 upper worlds are built by beings who are living in the 7 downwards. So worlds. So 14 have been described. So now this thing is what we have to understand. Why? Because this is Ashwatha. Ashwatha means what? That this is something which will not remain. Just like when we travel by road, we see that on the road nearby we see like it is water, and when you go near and you see that there is no water. Then you see that nowadays this laser show can be made, laser light show. Somebody